Okay, we're back on air. This is Roger Lett. I'm here with Julie Sinatry at the Utica Curling Club for the Raymond Kayser Bonspiel. Tonight's feature game on Sheet 3 is a B semifinal game between Utica 5, skipped by Doug Smith, and Boomstones 2, skipped by Todd Hebert. Just waiting to see who wins the flip and gets the hammer in the first end.
Doug Smith is the fellow that is responsible for us up and running and streaming, so we want to shout out to him. All right. Skips are making their way down. We're in the quad view right now. So as soon as we start here, looks like Utica 5 has the hammer, and Todd Hebert's Broomstones 2 is going to shoot their first rock, and that's Meredith Kelsey. So we have Todd Hebert's team. Todd is skip. Nancy Jennett is vice. Dan Cho's playing second, and Meredith Kelsey is playing lead. As Todd puts his broom down. We have Utica 5, Doug Smith, skip. Dee Foles playing third. Brian Lowe's playing second, and Amy White's playing lead.
And we're underway. We've got the game update crawl going in the lower right-hand corner, so you can keep track of all the other games on the other sheets for this draw, this 6 p.m. draw at the Raymond Kayser Bonspiel.
Looks like Doug's calling Amy to put one in the wings. Do we think we're going to bite her at this one? Sweeping pretty hard.
Looks like it's just going to be short of the rings. That'll be a corner guard. So, game on. 2 guards in play. Todd Hebert of Broomstones is calling for another center guard. First one over curled just a hair off the center line. We'd want to try to make this one a little bit better.
Sweeping pretty hard. By center guard.
That guard's well placed. Second lead rock for Doug Smith's team. And he will take this opportunity to come around those 2 centers. Can't move those guards yet. They're still in the free guard zone.
Amy's going to try to come through those 2 guards. Looks a little narrow.
This one's very narrow. Might try to go for the plan B here and see if we can sweep this into the other side of the house. Don't think it's going to curl enough, though.
But she might nick the first. Oof.
Just nudge the guard.
Well, they can use that.
2 corners, 2 centers. Guards in play. Broomstones has an opportunity to come around and get to the 4-foot first here. Try to set up a steal.
Dan's going to try to draw right around their guards.
Earlier today, we were getting about 4 feet of swing on this sheet. So plenty of draw to bury stones.
This looks like a nice stone.
This one's by a mile. Plenty of room by the guard.
A little heavy.
Didn't get a lot of finish.
Actually, very nice weight.
Very accessible, though. That stone's wide open.
Looks like Doug's calling for a takeout.
Should be able to hit and roll behind the blue corner guard. Brian Lowe for Utica, playing second.
It's got to curl a lot.
And it's making a big move here.
Here it comes. This looks nice.
Made a big move.
Oh, nice.
This is going to roll underneath the centers.
Oh, and a very nice shot.
Well done. A little surprising how much that moved. That really took a big dive just before the hog line. Utica now lies 1 on the 8-foot behind the center guard. Todd Hebert is calling for down weight takeout here. Try to chip that stone off the shot rock position.
This is Dan's second rock. It should break pretty.
And that's about where Brian's broke, and this one
it?
hung and wrecked on the wrecked on that blue corner guard. Spins into the rings, but I don't think that's shot rock. Yeah, blue still shot by a hair.
I think Doug has the hammer. What's he calling for here? Just a little tap back?
Looks like he's going to play a little split. Just draw a weight here. He's looking to tap his stone a little further underneath and maybe roll the shooter underneath the wide corner guard. Weight looks pretty good, I think.
It's a tad heavy.
If it comes up a little bit. Definitely needs to nudge that stone and just missed.
Just a tad heavy.
Maybe just a hair. If they hit it thin, they might have kept the shooter. Now Broomstones is going to try this chip again. From where we sit up behind the glass, we can only see maybe a third of the stone peeking out behind the corner guard, behind the center guard.
This is Nancy's first shot. Weight seems nice.
Nancy Jeanette playing third for Broomstones 2.
She's getting ready for the break there. This looks very nice if it comes over. Staying straight.
Running remarkably straight there. Does move the shot rock, but not very far. And it looks like the shooter rolled just over far enough to not be shot rock. Utica still sits shot, now almost top 4.
Doug's calling.
Defold, the third for Utica 5. looking to draw one around. Don't want to leave this too wide. I'd like to get this half under so that they can't run this back onto shot stone. The line looks great.
Really nice.
They go hard. They should go for second rock here.
It looks like there's a double, though, now. Well,
I think there is a double, half a rock. The only question is whether or not the rock they just threw will jam on the back yellow. So they're looking at coming down and running this stone into this one, sending this one out. The only question is, does this stone go on the yellow? Let's go back to live action. At the very least, they need to remove the rock that's just thrown because Utica is now sitting 2.
this actually looks...
They got the outside half. Not much weight, though. And that's just going to rearrange them a little bit. Needed to throw a lot more weight with that shot to get the double. Utica still sitting 2 here, has a chance to put 3 in play if they can drop another one. Just about top 8.
So it looks like that's what Doug's calling for.
Yeah, it looks like the call. This is
second
Defoe's second shot, playing third for Utica 5. This looks a hair inside, but it's holding.
Looks a little heavy.
I think they're sweeping for line. Nope, they're letting it go now. This is coming right in. Might want to take this back. Here we go. They're still sitting 3. They're behind tee line, though. A good draw here by Todd Hebert will get Broomstones out of trouble.
Right. He's got that backer there. The better miss on that is leaving it a little higher.
Yeah, definitely want to be a little short on that. Now Utica's got 2 rocks behind tee line. And if Hebert can glue one on to this rock on the back 4, then Broomstones will be out of trouble this end. Got to make this shot.
Well, seem to think the weight's right there. This looks good. Hanging out a little bit.
Should finish.
It's not finishing.
That's not turning.
It's not turning at all.
And that's going right back through. Just a little heavy. I guess that's why it didn't move. So Utica continues to set 3 here. They really need to drop one top 8, top 12 here to cut off the draw path to that shot rock on the back 4.
I think that's what Doug's calling for right here.
I don't think they can cover both. There is a rock that's further out. But I think that's further behind tee line. Yeah, this rock is pretty far behind tee.
So here comes skip Doug Smith for his first shot.
Tuck Smith's first skip rock.
Little deep, Roger. No, not too bad.
No, don't want to sweep. It's going to get buried. Well, it's not the worst spot they could have put it. They're sitting 4, and that, from our vantage point here behind the glass, that rock is almost fully buried on the top button.
What a good draw from.
Well, the shot rock's not going anywhere. There's no really good angle on the shot that Doug just threw. They could remove the one from the back button by running that in, but they'll lose their shooter in the process.
So it looks like he's going to throw. He's going to try to remove one of those.
I think he's going to try to. I think he's going to try to come in and slash this one into the back one and get rid of at least one. But the question is whether or not your shooter will roll too far away. Tough shot here. This is Todd Hebert's last. First in, Kayser Bonspiel. This is the one of the B semifinal games. Now we've seen a couple shots sail wide here. Let's see how much weight's going to be thrown.
Not too much.
It's a pretty soft takeout.
Right.
Looks like maybe hack weight.
Looks like it's coming over. Don't know if it's enough.
At the very least, if they freeze on this, they can cut down the scoring area. And that is going to roll off. But does cut down the scoring area. So Doug will have to draw a piece of the 4-foot here to get 3. Just seen this shot.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, there's a chance for Utica to jump out into a big lead here early. Couple ways to make this shot. It's just a straight draw to the 4-foot. If they're just a hair heavy and it hangs a little wide, they can chip off the yellow rock, get their 3rd rock that way. And they'd have to be, I think, very unlucky to go through the hole. There is a hole there, but it'd be hard to make that 1 time out of 10.
I've done it.
I don't think it's heavy.
No, it looks like it's not going to make it there.
No, that's too bad. There was a lot of tolerance on that shot. You could be a little heavy and still make this shot. You need to throw hack weight and come off the yellow. So it looks like 2 for Utica in the first end. Good start.
Nice shot by Todd Hebert to cut Utica down to 2.
Counted out 2 rocks. As Todd comes back to the near house, they see a big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
He escaped big end there with his last stone. All right, Broomstones has the hammer for the first time this game, second end.
So, Roger, what do you think about Doug out there on his slider foot? No gripper on.
Well, I'd be on my keister pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, I would step off the board and end up on the ice. Amy White's first shot.
And that shot stops just short of the rings. About as close as you can get to not be in.
That's calling for one to the wings. This is Meredith's first shot. Sweeping hard. Looks like that one's not going to make it over the hog.
That's very short.
Doug's calling for another guard, center line. Oh, changing his mind. Wow, very aggressive call there.
Now he wants to come around. Lots of room here.
Yeah, it looks like a guard though. Looks like the weight was. Looks like this is gonna.
Two guards in play. Now Hebert has a decision. Come in or throw the wings again. Or come between those two stones and come around the stone that was just thrown, which
That's
is
what he's
good
gonna
corner
do.
guard.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come through the port. This looks very heavy.
I think you want.
And it looks like it may be on the guard.
You want to sweep it past this?
No, it just went by everything.
Doug's calling it in the rings again. It's Ryan's first shot.
Well, Doug has two guards. Without hammer, should be coming around.
That's what he's calling.
Playing the out-turn draw.
Doesn't look like it has enough.
This was way out there,
Right.
so probably got onto some fresh pebble among other things. This was just a little bit light.
And I would not. I would drop it, which doesn't matter.
Not enough gas to get that one over.
Kyle's going to take this one out.
Todd Hebert's going to remove this problematic rock in front of the house. See if they can spin this on the rings.
Dan's first shot. Throw any weight at this and it kind of hangs.
And I didn't watch the release, but that definitely ran quite straight. So it looks like Broomstone's well out of play, but Utica Rock is still hanging around at T-line. Good chance here to come around and sit two. Always your goal when you don't have hammer is to figure out how to sit 1 and 2 with no double.
Make them chase you.
Make them chase, but more importantly, you can't score 2 if you're already sitting 1 and 2 and you don't have the last rock advantage.
A little deep here. Should bring it back.
Deep.
Let's try to bring that back a little further.
No, it's not a bad spot. I mean, it's behind T line no matter what.
So he's calling for takeout on this one.
Couple possibilities here. Can hit and roll behind the center guard or hit and roll all the way to the shot that was just thrown in front of it. Oh, they're working this very hard, and it looks like there's some curl here.
There is some curl.
And this is not a real heavily thrown rock.
I think they're going to get that piece they want, though.
They're going to get a little piece.
Nice shot.
And they're going to roll toward the stone that Utica just threw the last shot. Shot rock, though. Utica sits second and third.
Default's first shot.
Doug's elected to come around here in front of those 2 rocks in the back of the house. I think the shot stone is actually accessible for takeout. Would leave you sitting behind T-line.
Looks a little wide here. Looks very wide. Bit heavy.
Yeah, that's got to sit down. It's coming down. And if you get the house view, I think yellow may still be shot.
Oh, sorry.
Hard to tell. I think yellow's still shot here, so broomstones may still be shot.
It's hard to tell from this angle. So now, Todd's.
Broomstones has a chance to get a deuce set up here if they're second rock.
It's called for it. Behind the blue guard, top 4.
Yep, come around the corner.
We can see the post. We don't know what the echo is.
That one's also behind T-line.
So Doug's just called for a draw right down to it.
Default, Utica thirds, last shot. This rock's coming in nicely.
Thanks, LPE 524. Audio is fine in Boston. This looks good. Sorry, folks. There you go.
That's a very good spot. Even if that's not shot rock, that's a great stone.
Okay.
Be nice if they'd locked it on, but it's above shot rock.
Todd's calling for a takeout.
They're going to try to chip this away over the top. Anything but a nose here.
Can't tell from my angle. Is that a little tight, Roger?
This is curling very hard.
Really working it.
I think they're going to crash the guard. They actually crashed on the guard. That's a big turnaround. The guard here. And Utica will have shot rock and some backing. Toughest shot for a guard, toughest shot for a skip to throw a guard, right?
But you tell us that's what you want all the time.
That's what skips want to throw. So anywhere there, just tight to the house along that line would be terrific.
So we just got an update from the men's nationals. They're in the 9th, and George is up 5-4 over Clark. Thank you. I think these.
Well, I think they're a little concerned if Broomstones is hitting second and third, whether or not they should put a second rock in the house. For example, tapping up the stone on top 4.
Yeah, they had a bit of a discussion. Dee was suggesting a guard, and I think they're going to try to come down and tap it up. Moving the broom in. Keeps changing the broom on.
This looks more like tapping ice than drawing than a guard ice.
Oh, they're pushing hard. Doesn't look like it's moving at all.
And with that sweeping, is not going to curl. Very light.
Very, very light.
Needs some finish here.
I know. We gotta get that in.
That leaves shot rock wide open. Well, sometimes that's the hardest shot to throw when you're a skipper. Throw that perfect guard on swingy ice.
This gives Todd an excellent chance to.
Could set up a 3 here.
Yeah.
But those rocks are behind tee line. I think his shooter's going to definitely roll away, possibly out. And so that will give Doug another chance to freeze on shot rock.
Can't see it well here.
So again, they're looking to chip this rock over the top of the second yellow rock stone that's in the back 4. Don't want to jam.
Calling for sweep. Nice weight.
Looks like this may be right on the nose.
Oh.
I think Doug's hitting shot. Surrounded by yellows. Definitely a guard is in order here. Something up front would be most welcome.
Don't want to give Todd a chance to run his back into the blue.
It'll be hard to remove the blue the way it's sandwiched there and keep the yellow you run in. A good guard here, though. I think Doug's a good shot to steal.
Looks a bit heavy, although from behind the glass it's hard to tell. Looks like it's coming in, though.
Looks like nice weight. The main thing is just about line here. They just want to be just touching the center line.
This looks good.
They need to come up.
Sorry, folks.
Just touching the center line.
That's nice.
That's a good spot.
That's a good spot for it. So they're taking a look here.
I think Todd Hebert's going to have a hard time scoring here. I think his only option really, and it's the dangerous one, is to run the blue stone. But you're running an opposition stone, which is
Do you think
always risky.
Do you think he can get a piece of the button on the other side of the ice?
I don't think there's enough curl for him to catch a piece of the button with the out-turn draw. So we're looking at this draw, but I just don't think there's enough curl here. I mean, he's got to catch, he's already second and third. He'd have to catch the pin.
Looks like they are going to try the draw, Roger. Well, Todd's elected to play. Oh, they're going to change the shot. They were going to play the out-turn draw, which I didn't think was there. Now they're going to try to play the in-turn. They might be able to chip either their rock into, that's a tough shot, or maybe try to nick shot rock and move it off the pin. I really don't think either shot is there. And they're going to talk it over some more.
It's got enough.
Well, we're throwing an in-turn something here on sheet 3. Possible raise or possible chip. They'll need a lot of late finish here, though. It's coming in. And they just nicked the shot stone going by, but really didn't catch enough of it to move it. That's going to be a steal of 1 for Utica.
What happened?
3-0 Utica after 2. After one miss there in the second end by Todd Heber's team, allowed Doug Smith to get a guard up and steal one.
So Doug's calling for a guard. Update from the National. Looks like a blank in the 9th. Clark has the hammer going into the 10th. Is that right?
Down 1.
Down 1. I heard you and John having that discussion earlier today.
Indeed. Well, we're here calling this game, trying to keep track of the Nationals at the same time.
Yeah.
So we've all got our tape machines going at home.
Looks he's calling to the wings. It's Meredith's first shot.
We'll try to get your scores updated on the other sheets on the crawl.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll stop talking about the outcome then.
Charlie has a problem. I think he just said go home. So I think there's an emergency because she got a phone call. So I think Jen has some subs. Well, they can play with 3 once they started. They can play with 3. We got a sub.
Very nice chip. Utica now sits 2, but behind T-line. Dan Cho's being asked to draw around the corner guard. A little heavier than I think they wanted, but that chips out one of the blue stones.
Sorry about that, folks. We had somebody had to leave on another sheet, and we're looking for a sub. I'd like to play, actually. This is a fun event.
I think we don't qualify by quite a few years now.
I know. It's unfortunate.
Trying to take out shot rock. They're sweeping this hard to get it by the guard. They've got it by, and that's a nice rock. Utica hits 2. I believe this was my first out-of-town Bonspiel, the Kayser Bonspiel.
Is that the Potomac?
That was down in Potomac. That was
I think that was my,
many years ago.
might have been my second out-of-town Bonspiel.
But this is the Grand National Curling Club's one of their best ideas ever to run these 5 and under spiels. Gives some new curlers a chance to get some experience in playing in the house, skipping a game. Something they might not do in their club leagues for quite some time.
And they play against teams with this about the same level of experience.
Right. The same level of experience, and they're just, you'll make lifelong friends. And we keep curling against the same folks we curled against when we all started. This one's just going to slide by. I think Utica still shot rock. They're sitting 1 and 3.
Todd's calling. Well, actually, Doug's calling for a guard. So I
think he'd like to draw one just around the corner guard to cut off the path to his shot stone. Todd's hitting second rock. T-Foal, third for Utica.
It's hanging out there, Roger. It doesn't look like it's coming over at all. It's out there on the forefoot. It's
Looks
just
like she was a little wide.
Weight's very.
It's going to finish, but started out a little too wide. This is going to wind up on the center line.
Todd's just going to try to bump that one back a little bit and sit 2, I think. Oh, no, he's going to draw.
Well, it's behind T-line. I think
he's going to draw.
Really need to ignore those
Yeah.
rocks. I think you want to get something above T here to get your deuce.
Yeah.
He's going to try to take advantage of that center guard that D-Fold just threw for Utica.
It's Nancy's first shot.
Try to bury one, top 4.
Oh, it's cutting hard.
Yeah, this rock's a little light, I think.
They're sweeping hard. They really dragged it a long way.
It just didn't have enough.
A little bit more weight, that would have been perfect.
The line was good, but now there's 2 guards up there.
So Doug's going to bring one right in.
One of the things you want to do when you have hammers, you don't want to be light coming around the centers.
Particularly when you have backers.
It'll take them a couple shots now to get this opened up. Doug's going to try to now get around to the 4-foot first here. Even if you're a little short here, which is the pro side miss, if you're a little short here, you cut off access to the 4-foot from this in-turn side.
Looks a little, well, actually looks very nice. Start sweeping now. Oh, no.
I think they're on the guard.
No, they are not.
Oh, you're right. They're going to get right by.
I think it's behind T, though. Oh.
Stops in a perfect spot.
You can see about half the rock.
Yep, maybe half. And that camera view is pretty much what we're seeing here behind the glass. There is a jam in the back, though. Either on the blue or their own yellow. So D put that rock in a pretty decent spot.
Here it comes. It's going to come over enough.
Looks like it's a little light.
But it's enough.
It is going to jam in the back. but Broomstones is shot rock, but they are fully exposed. Now with a nice shot here, Doug, for Utica, can play a hit and roll right underneath and sit 3. They're going to come inside out at this.
What?
And I'm not sure we've seen this line very much.
Is he worried about it not curling? Oh, no, he's moved his broom.
Yeah, I like the outside in turn here. Runs a little bit straighter, get a little bit deader flop.
I play it right on the edge of the rock.
I actually think this will move a little bit here if you don't overthrow it.
Oh, he wants to draw.
No, I think that's where he wants to
that's
roll
where
to.
that's where
they
he
have
wants
to remove shot
yeah,
rock.
yeah. That's not what the broom says.
And I think they're throwing just a lightweight takeout here.
I think back of the house.
Maybe
May
hack
yeah.
to maybe board down.
It runs pretty straight where she has the broom, though.
I think it'll depend on the weight. In the earlier game, shots down this line that were down weight curled pretty hard late. Main thing here is you want to throw enough weight to make sure you get rid of this rock. And this looks like about hack to through the rings weight. That's going to cut really hard.
Shouldn't have come up on
with
that one.
weight.
I don't think they have it, Roger.
Looks like a straight draw. It's going to go a little deep.
Probably shouldn't have come up on that. Might have been able to get a little tick.
Just more weight, I think.
Sorry, I keep flipping the wrong buttons, folks. Sorry about that.
Well, this gives Todd a chance to drop one in now. Top 4. I'm not sure they can play a split on their stone. That might take it away from shot rock position. There is a Utica stone in the back of the 8-foot on the right-hand side.
So you think he just wants to split a little over, or just straight draw?
I think you draw this straight in.
Draw, yeah.
Draw this straight in.
Todd's wife is watching us out there in Boston.
Okay, a big draw here.
I think that was Todd saying he thinks it's all right.
Starting to move.
Starting to move. Oh, nice.
Bending hard now.
Nice. Oh,
and they waited too late on the sweep call.
Yeah.
I think that was a made shot. That was perfect weight.
Yeah, that was perfect weight.
These rocks do break hard late. For those of you that were listening on some previous broadcasts, I think we mentioned that all of the stones at the club were refurbished this last year at Canada Curling Stone. And they did a great job on them. And we've been getting good 4 feet of swing outside in. And they break very hard late, especially if you don't put a lot of rotation on them.
Right, and they magnify any little problem with your delivery. So.
Yeah, they'll run very straight if you up your weight, and they'll break very hard with draw weight. Makes it a lot of fun to curl out here. Plus, we have to give a shout out to our volunteer ice crew. They've done a fantastic job of keeping the ice really great all season long.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that are 5 and under curlers.
That's right.
They've gone to ice school. They've really
Bunch of them curling in this Bonspiel
yeah.
and trying to do the ice in between their draws.
So when we have our more experienced curlers helping out, but most of us can nip and sweep. They're really doing the majority of the work, the 5 and under folks.
I think Doug needs to come through that same hole. He can afford a little rub maybe on the top yellow.
He's calling him to sweep.
Does he have enough weight here?
I don't. I think he's going to hit the. Yeah, he does.
They're sweeping it hard.
Is he going to get it by the guard?
They've got a lot of room by the guard now.
I
just don't know if they have enough weight. And the line was perfect. I think 2 more brooms.
Mm-hmm. Looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Todd's sitting 1.
He's going to try to draw on the other side.
I think they pretty much cut off that intern path. The question is, how do you get a second rock in?
Can they wick off that? Wick off the blue.
Pretty dangerous. You'd hate to raise that in. I mean,
that's true.
That's a very tight draw path.
What about
on
a little
the outturn side? Very difficult. And I'm not sure they can move. The other thing they're looking at is trying to chip, come by the outside corner guard there and chipping that second shot back a little bit.
It curls enough to do that.
No easy shots here for your deuce.
What about the other side? Bump, bump. That's not gonna. That'd hurt him.
Tough to get that rock on the top 12. Tough to get that one to be shot.
They're talking about it now.
So, I mean, they're looking at this bump, into that rock, but the problem is, I think that middle yellow, there we go. That middle yellow is not going to be shot, even if you bump it up.
And you want to be careful not to bump that one.
You could you could turn 1 into a steal of 1.
Well, but that looks like that's what they're doing.
Thinking the draw through the port might be the easiest. None of them are easy. And I think they're going to try the triple bump.
You always got to go with what the skip's most comfortable with.
This is the one Todd likes. Don't think they like any of them, really.
No. But you always got to go with the one the skip feels most comfortable with.
Still talking about it in the hack. That's usually a sign they're not totally comfortable with the call.
Yeah. Sweepers want to know where it needs to hit, too.
Yeah, they need to know the angle and how much weight needs to be thrown here. You got to move 3 stones. So they've almost got to throw back ring hack weight here.
Got to keep it on the outside, too. Ooh, don't oversweep it here.
Now they're calling him on late.
Nice angle. Is it gonna
just hit it too fat?
Just a bit.
Good try. He almost ran that top one over onto the 8-foot for a shot. Looks like just 1 yellow. So Broomstones is on the board.
They took their 1.
Got their 1, 3-1 after 3. Utica gets the hammer back with a 2-point lead here in the 4th.
Todd calling for top 12, it looks like.
The other B semifinal game, Utica 2's jumped out to a 5-1 lead over Albany 1 after 3 ends of play.
He called it in the rings. He put it right where he called it.
Kind of unusual call, down 2. This allows Doug to simply play a fairly clean end with no risk with a 2-point lead.
Well, Todd could just be seeing if Amy can take out.
And this was pretty heavy. Doug just asked for fairly light takeout weight.
Yeah, we are streaming sheet 3. We have our camera set up here.
Just a little strong for the weight that was called there. Now Todd's going to guard that shot rock up.
Take your broom back, put it away.
Called for a guard now, center line.
This one's hanging out. And that will slip in the rings too. 2 targets now.
Coming right down to it. Said he wanted her to come down to it and maybe tap it. Depending on the weight, it's going to start to. It's going to.
Looks a little strong for a freeze.
I don't think it's got enough weight. I think it's going to.
Moved it back a little bit. Kept the shooter in.
Mm-hmm. It's poking out the other side. Looks like he wants a Christmas tree.
Well, Todd would like this maybe half in behind the rock on the top 12. Shot on the button's in not a bad spot.
No.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to throw another guard on that.
Stands first shot.
This one looks a little strong also. It's going to stop T line though. Just back of T. Little pocket there.
Can't see it there with Doug standing there, but there's.
There's a nice pocket to draw to.
You can see it now.
Stone that's hurting them really is the one in the top 12. That's the one that has to go.
That's what he.
The other 2 rocks, one's behind T, one's just at T line.
He actually put his broom down originally to have Brian take out that one in the top 12, but he changed his mind.
Yeah, I like moving the one on the top 12. That's the problem rock. So Brian's going to throw the freeze. Or just top 4 in front of this pocket. Line looks pretty good here.
Line and weight looks pretty good. The ladies are not. Just popped it back just a little. It's not too bad.
It's in the open.
Inside hip.
They can easily get to
Yep.
the inside of this
Yeah.
and set 4. Now he's electing to guard. Both teams leaving a lot of rocks in play here.
We said we'll put the sunroof up.
Looks like it's going to come right down to this one. Oh, right where he wanted it.
Yeah, pretty much where he put the broom, top
Yeah.
8.
Not a bad shot. Can pop that back anytime. What does Doug do now?
Well, I think he needs to remove that rock on the 12-12 that's still the problem rock. He has no access to shot rock here and no hope of getting shot rock unless he moves that guard. It's just sitting in the top 12.
There you go.
Gotta go. I would have removed it a shot before because then there's no.
Okay, so when that happens,
Up.
this is a good
Put the stone back.
The stone
Trip
back.
hazards there in the back of the house. Always got to watch for those.
and the offended skip gets to put the stone back where they believed it was.
No harm, no foul there. Problem with throwing the freeze first, as Utica did, is that now removing this rock introduces a possible jam.
And it looks
Yeah.
like it's
If it curls enough, it might not be too bad, but yeah, and it will double off those. That's a pretty good result, considering that rock was over curling and it could have jammed on shot stone.
well.
No guards up front now, so things are looking a little better. Utica has the hammer. They have the last rock advantage this end, so they have the hammer. And it's hard to tell from here, but it looks like Utica's sitting second. Broomstones is sitting third rock.
It looks like Todd's trying to cut off the draw to shot rock.
Well, there is a slash double on these yellows. If you hit that yellow, Doug can get a crack at this yellow and spill that yellow that way. The back yellow will go straight out. And it might get 3, to be honest. So they've got to protect those 2 stones on the 4-foot. Or they should remove Doug's blue rock.
Oh, another nice shot by his vice.
Bring that one right to the top 12. So they cover the correct side of those 2 yellow stones. And we can't hit the outside. Whoops.
Sorry.
Now we're going to strike. We'll come this way. Can't hit the outside
Because
this is going to jam.
right. So it looks like Doug's calling for the draw.
Yeah, if he freezes to his zone, should be able to freeze for shot rock.
This is Dee's first shot.
A little behind on our rock counter. Looks like this is D's first.
Looks a little heavy, although it's very hard to tell from up here. It's going to cut hard. Oh, they waited
I
too
think
long.
they like it.
No, they waited too long.
Yep, needed it for weight. That's in a very usable position, though.
So it looks like Broomstone's 1 and 3, Utica's 2, 4, and 5. Todd could use his own stone, hit his stone on the outside, and pop out Utica sitting 2, number 2.
Well, he could tap it up to sit 2. He's already shot on the back button.
Mm-hmm.
I think the danger rock for Todd is the one that D just threw for Utica. As that one can be driven into the pocket.
It looks like he wants to...
And I think they want to cover that.
Yep, they're definitely going to cover that.
Yeah, this stone can be driven into the pocket for shot rock.
Nice draw weight. I mean, nice guard weight, I'm sorry. Oh, it's over curling a bit.
Well, they left that tap up.
And that's what that's what Doug's calling for, is a tap up.
Default's last rock, playing third for Utica.
A little light. They're holding it. Yep.
It just over curled. It's still in good position, though.
Yeah, he's going to try to...
They've got to cover that up.
Right. That's what he's calling for.
So this rock can still be driven in for shot. And the way the yellow guards are now staggered up front, the two yellow rocks sitting biting the button are well covered now. And they're not easy to remove because the back one will jam on the blue one that was just thrown. So Todd's just going to try to seal up this in-turn side.
Sweeping hard right from the beginning. Right out of his hand.
Trying to hold it out. Keep it from over curling.
They're really...
This is cutting very hard.
Right.
Should do the trick, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's going to over curl. It's going to over curl. Actually, that raise is still there. That rock over curled just enough.
Yep, Dee just pointed that out to him.
I don't think there's anything on the outturn side. I think the in-turn tap-up is really the only option.
Yeah, you have to come around with...
Back four weight.
Yeah. That's what Dee's telling him. what they're looking at. Well, we're going to bring you the.
So what they're looking at doing here is they're looking to come around here and just tap this blue stone into the pocket and try to make that rock score. Going to have to come pretty close by both yellow guards.
That's right.
And if you miss this shot, probably should move that high yellow guard. Open things up for another crack at it. Todd will have to throw a guard over it.
Good.
Looks like they got pretty good weight on this. It looks like more than T-line or back 4.
She's calling them, though.
It's breaking. You need to get almost to the nose. This might be a really well thrown shot. And that
goes. Oh, nice shot.
Beautifully done,
Yeah,
right
nice
to the
shot.
pin. A lot of applause from the fans
Yeah,
here behind the
yeah.
glass.
Those are the shots that make you keep coming back for more.
That always feels good to execute. The whole team, in fact.
That was a well-played shot all
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
All 4 team members really contributed to that one. Well thrown, well swept.
Well called. Line called.
Well called line.
Yep. That's going to be a little tough to remove.
Well, if they can hit just a piece, if they can
then
catch
hit
just
the-
a piece of this yellow rock,
They can
they can
spill
squirt that out
out.
just enough. I don't think it's going to remove it because it's got pretty good backing there.
Right.
But I think they can move it back far enough that yellow will be shot.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
So, tough shot here. Have to catch that rock fairly thin. And quite frankly, that's about all they can see.
Yeah, there you go. You can see what they're looking at. See what Todd's looking at
Can
there.
see maybe, well, from our vantage point behind the glass, you can't see as much as our camera shows.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he can see maybe a third of this rock.
Just let it go. It looks nice, actually. She's calling them on now. They're holding it. Ooh, it's cutting.
And they've
No,
wrecked on the
they
guard,
wrecked
just
on the
cut
guard.
hard late.
Just cut.
Needed
Yeah.
just a hair more weight. I think that was a made shot
Right,
if they
right.
throw board weight. That was probably maybe about hack.
So I think.
I think at this point, Doug should eat his rock.
Right. I don't think there's much he can do except ruin his.
I think almost everything you could do here would be risky.
I think that's what she's saying.
The way this end developed, I think you'd
Yeah,
just
I
really
think it-
happy to get your one here.
Yeah.
They were staring at possibly giving up a steal of 2 for the
Yeah,
longest
you
time.
don't. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to drive that. He's looking at trying to tap the outside one in, but she's. You don't want to. You don't want to tap their yellow into yours, and although it doesn't look like you can move it,
The trouble is the only rock he can really use
it's that one.
is this one.
Right.
And this one, you'd hate to move. Probably can't hurt yourself too badly, I suppose, but I'm not sure you'd even be 2.
But you could if he hit this one in. If he hit the yellow one next to it, he could hurt himself.
Well, you don't even want to think about playing don't want to
No, I'm
think
not-
about playing the outturn anything.
Right. No, the intern, the yellow. If he's a little narrow on this.
I think you throw this one away.
Yep. She's got him way on the other side.
There is no good that
Yeah.
can happen out there. You just throw your rock into the sideboards.
Right. And I think that with 5 and under curling, they're looking on trying to do. Oh yeah, no, he's throwing it away.
Yep. I think that's a very wise decision.
Yeah.
You're up 2. Scoring at this end is fine
Yep.
to take a 3-point lead. I think the risk element is way too high. He's got to feel very fortunate to have stuck that angle raise for 1. And they're going to push it down. They're having some discussion about whether he needs to throw the rock, and there's no requirement that he throw the rock.
Yeah.
So Utica takes a 4-1 lead after 4. Kind of escaped with their skin that end. Really good shot by Doug Smith to extricate himself from a little bit of trouble.
If you're the opposite, Skip, and you've set up a great end for a steal, and that happens, you just shake your head.
Oh, you have to applaud the other skip.
Right.
If you make them make that shot every end, then you'll have a pretty good game.
Yeah, the percentages are on your side.
Todd's got to feel pretty happy about the way he played the end. It's just he didn't get the result he wanted.
Yep. Center line guard. This is Amy's first shot. Well, that's a nice draw to top 4. All right, Todd's going to have them remove it. Okay, Meredith's going to...
Up 3, not a bad thing to bring that first one in.
Well, thank you, Utica Liz. Nice weight on this. Although I don't know if it's going to stick around.
Caught just a piece.
Looked like it was going to come over. Must have been just a touch heavy.
With a little extra weight there, ran a little straighter.
Samey's second shot. She's going to...
Looks like Doug's calling for this on the top of the house again. 3-point lead, coming right in. Forcing Todd to force the issue to get the deuce. Shoes on the other foot this end. Last end, Todd came in to test Amy with her hitting, and
this end,
Doug's going to return the favor.
Yep. So I think that's a little heavy. It's going through. It's going to sweep that right out there.
Almost don't want that in the back of the house. That really only helps the team with a hammer.
Right.
Talk to anyone who skipped the game long enough, and those rocks behind T-line are the bane of your existence.
You hate to have them there, but you don't want to play on them, though.
That's right.
That and the high guards.
Yep, nothing like the high guard. That's really not in play, but it's just enough in play, usually when you need to make a critical shot, but only then. Usually helps the other team. All right, after that miss, Broomstones is just going to float this one into the wings.
Looks good.
Corner guard would be okay here. And they're going to sweep that one right in.
Right, nice shot.
I would expect Doug to call for a hit, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
How do you like coming this way, Roger?
Well, it depends on where your shooter can come out on the broom. So, you know, for a lot of these curlers, you know, because they have not been curling a long time, newer curlers don't always can get all the way out to the broom.
Yep.
And so coming inside out, if you know the ice, just makes it easier for your shooters to make more shots.
Now this is a made shot. I think Doug called this late.
And I think he didn't give enough ice. There's a lot of
Right.
inside out swing
Right.
here.
But
It was nice weight on
yeah.
Brian's part.
Yeah.
But probably just needed a little more ice there. I don't mind coming inside out as long as you know the ice.
Right.
And if your shooter can hit the broom there.
So
And I
Todd's
think in our league nights, I often take some of our newer curlers and have them come that way. But you need to be prepared for the swing. Right, so Todd can split the house here with the hammer.
that'll set him up nicely to
And
take his deuce.
Try to sit two.
Dan's first shot. Todd's coming out of the house to help. Corner guard's not bad either.
Yeah, but a corner guard lets Utica off the hook because then they can hit. They really need to get this one on the rings. And so now they get a second crack
Right.
at this. Looks like Doug took a hair more ice on this.
A little wide on this release, I think.
I think it'll come, though.
Yep, no, he's having them sweep this time.
So fortunately, that was the ice they should have taken, and that's
Yeah.
a nice shot.
Yeah, it is a very nice shot. It's going to roll. No?
Right on the nose. You don't want to roll that anywhere,
Yeah.
I think. You don't want to roll anywhere close to the corner guard where they can hit and roll under.
Right.
You want to force play away from that corner for now
Well, that's just
if you
what
don't have the hammer. So this is a nice spot.
Todd's going to try.
Broomstones would like to get a long roll here if they can. And you can see he's playing the outside in hit, which runs a little straighter.
I think he wants a hit and roll if they can keep it out there. Ooh, look at those women's sweepers. They pulled it right out.
Right on the nose. Not a lot of weight on that. Just barely gets it through the rings. And that's got to go away again. Doug's going to be very happy to keep pounding that rock out. Now he's got the right ice on this. You notice he moved the broom out to the center line after Brian's last shot. This is default.
Spinning a little bit.
That's a little out.
That's a little out, but she doesn't throw a heavy take
Yeah,
out.
and this will crank once it crosses the center line.
And is it going to crank enough?
Yep, they got a piece.
They got a piece.
That'll do the job. Just good enough.
Both the skips sweeping out the rocks.
But rolling out there now gives Todd a chance to get around his corner guard.
And that's exactly what he's calling for. So this is Nancy's first shot. It's going to kind of...
Yeah, I don't think Nancy's happy with that.
Yeah, she did not.
I wouldn't want to be reading the lips
No.
on that one.
No, she did not look like
It doesn't look bad.
No, it doesn't.
This is going to hang around, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
This is a nice shot. Very nice shot. She wasn't happy with it when she let it go, but it turned out really nicely. Got it partially buried.
So I think Doug's telling her hack weight. A little less.
Now, we haven't seen this line, I think, so far in the game.
Well, looks like she was on the broom that time. He's calling hard. It's going to
They're
come
going to have
hard.
to go hard.
They're going to have to go
sweep.
hard
They have to sweep hard on this.
all the way. Come on, Brian. Lean on that.
This is maybe through the rings weight.
Really nice.
They've got it by. Do they have enough weight?
Yes, they do.
Nicely done.
Nice shot.
Good sweeping.
Good sweeping.
Good sweeping. Save that.
That'll
Nicely
make,
done.
That'll make the happy 2 takeouts.
Well, so far, nothing cooking this end for the Deuce. They're trading hits. I think where that blue stone wound up, it's a little hard to get a good roll under. You'd really have to flirt with that corner.
Yeah, I think they just want to remove it. Nancy seems okay with this one.
This looks like a good rock. They're going to roll away a little bit.
Nice shot.
Move that rock to a new spot. So Broomstone sits 1.
So they're playing for a Utica miss to try to get deuce, or they're going to blank.
Possibly blank the end. Although I don't know if any of the curling fans out there read Curling with Math. There's a wonderful blog called Curling with Math, which has got all sorts of interesting analyses of probabilities and curling strategy. And one of the recent articles is that the team that blanks an end to attempt to score 2 with a hammer in the next end only does so something like 15% of the time. So that'll create still more arguments between skips, as if we didn't have enough to argue about already.
Yeah, I don't like the blank ends. This doesn't seem like enough ice coming this way. He's got to throw a lot of weight.
Definitely should throw a ton of weight here with that ice.
Yeah. But he knows what he likes to throw, so.
Looks good.
Looks good from here. Although his body's in the way, so I can't really see. Nice
Nicely
shot.
done.
Yep.
Definitely had to be on that right away with
Right.
that ice.
Good call.
Good call, good sweep, nice shot. Still trading hits here.
Todd's going to come down and make his hit. Maybe get a little roll. Job number 1 is to get rid of the rock, though.
Yeah, you don't get a roll without the hit. That's
Right.
We have a viewer who wants to know how Ken Thibodeau is doing on sheet 2.
And it looks like the...
It looks like they just took a 4-1 lead.
Oh, wait. They haven't been keeping score. No, it's 4-4.
Oh. Okay, they don't know how to hang the cards, so it's 4-4 after 5 ends of play.
Hanging a little bit out. Now here it comes. He's just going to roll a little the other way, but nice shot.
This will probably roll out.
No?
Now gives Doug a chance to hide a stone somewhere.
So he's going to try to hide behind the guard.
Or he could just draw into the open here and play for the blank end. The one danger about coming around the guard, and if you make it, it's a great shot, but one danger about coming around the guard, well, of course, there's only one stone to play, right?
Right.
Yeah, so no danger here.
No.
So if you come around with your first skip rock, then you leave a chance for them to hit and roll under
Right.
and score 2.
You just want to get somewhere in the rings. You need to
You want to
make
get in the ring
rings
somewhere,
yeah.
maybe partially hide it so that it's hard to hit out. Force Todd to draw against 1.
Right.
long as you don't raise the guard in, you're
Yeah.
good.
Don't give him a chance for
Yes.
2. Done that before, too.
Yep. If you curl long enough, you'll make just about every possible mistake there is to make.
Well, that's another thing that's great about the 5 and unders. You make that mistake in a 5 and under, and you learn not to make it somewhere else.
And this looks like a very fine shot.
Oh, that's a fine shot.
He's got that half buried 12-foot. Been nice if that had been deeper, but I think that takes the blank out of the equation.
Right, I think.
That one is a little too risky to remove. Hard to keep your shooter and remove it, so
Right.
it's going to force Todd to draw for 1, and that's a really good outcome.
Got some love going out there to Team Rowe. That's Patrick Rowe's team, Broomstones 4. Got a lot of Boston viewers. Todd caught his breath, took a little bit, got ready in the hack. This is why we
Just needs full 8 here. Sweepers are off. They like it.
looks like it's going to be very nice shot. Very nice shot.
Looks like he'll grab a piece of the button. Very nice draw
That's
for
why
1.
we pay the skips the big bucks.
(4-2) Utica after 5 ends. Utica has last rock advantage in the 6th ends.
So touch narrow. Sweeping hard.
Trying to get this one over. And that will clear the hog, just barely.
That's a high guard for you.
Over curl just a hair.
Doug's trying to make a decision here. Just gonna call Amy to put it in the wing.
The other option would be to come around outside of that center guard,
Yeah.
which is a little bit off center. But this is a very conservative call. Just draw one out to the wings. If you're a little bit short, you get a corner guard. Doesn't clog up the middle. You want to keep that middle open with hammer.
Well, it looks like a high guard. They're pounding.
I think you can get this at least halfway.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a 2 out of this.
That'll be a nice corner.
You can use that guard.
Very nice spot.
Is that true? Fun fact about Todd, he only chews gum when he skips. Thank you for that. Now Todd's calling for come around here.
Come around to a tighter guard.
Line looks nice. Touch heavy, but that's starting to dig. It's looking nice.
Yeah, it's just going to touch the rings.
Ooh, it looked like it just lost its handle at the end.
And Doug's going to ask Amy to move that rock that was just thrown.
He just said back of house weight. Just a little heavier than back of the house weight he's asking for.
Even tap this to the back 12 is fine.
Little narrow.
Doug's calling for a sweep.
Hard. Looks like it's going to wreck on the top guard.
Well, if it doesn't take this guard out of play, it wouldn't be terrible if they nick that guard.
Oops.
Just moved it.
Yeah.
Moved it in the open.
We practice those shots, don't we, Roger? Just moving that top guard.
That tick shot.
Yeah.
That's a devastating shot in the last end. And if you have hammer to move the opponent's guards just over but not out of play. Of course, you can't remove those stones until the seconds come up. Your opponent's guards in that free guard zone, which is that area in front of the house and above tee line. Seconds are up now.
Just calling one center line or...
This is Dan Cho. He's coming around, I think. Trying to draw a second stone in.
Yeah, Todd indicated short's okay too. Guard's okay, but he staying out there.
I think this will make a, well, it's going to slide a little deep. As I say, it's going to make a pair up front. And it's going to slip in a little bit deeper.
Well, the key of this one's not to go wide.
Not sure if they're calling a freeze or a hit here. Looks like they're definitely throwing a hit. This is tight.
Yeah, this is really tight. He came really tight on this.
They're going to get by the guard. Good sweeping to get by the guard.
Nice sweeping.
Hey, roll behind the corner. Actually, not a bad result.
Yeah, not a bad result.
They were looking for the crotch double to see if they could remove both stones, but actually that's a much better shot because now they're second rock and they're fully buried. Now broomstones will have to try to sit 1 and 2 here to prevent that blue stone from coming into play. Broomstones can sit 1-2 from the rest of the end, then that blue stone that just rolled under the corner will not score.
Yeah, Todd is calling it an excellent game.
We've actually seen some well-played, well-called games today. I would have to say since the time we were all in the 5 and unders, which was a long time ago, which we're too embarrassed to talk about.
Right.
The quality of play has increased significantly because I certainly know how I played when I was in this event.
Right. Oh.
One thing you always got to remember is execution trumps strategy.
Every time.
Yep. Strategy assures you that if you curl better than the other team, you should win. But strategy doesn't win games. Execution wins games. Call good strategy to make sure you're throwing the easiest shots. So Doug's trying to remove that yellow shot rock. This one's over curling, but it's going to get the job done. And because he's buried behind those corner guards, that rock is that blue rock that's buried is going to be a player.
I think Todd's going to try to have them draw. Yep.
Todd needs to get around the whole ball of wax here.
This is Nancy's first shot.
There's plenty of curl here. They can get buried. Top 4 behind the yellow and blue, blue rock, the yellow guards and the blue rock in the top 12.
It's a little wide.
Sweepers are just cleaning. Now they go on
Now
it.
they're going hard. Cutting hard.
This rock's starting to move.
Oh, good sweeping. Good sweeping.
They're dragging it. Just 2 more inches. Oh, they're just 6 inches short of being shot. Maybe a stone.
So where do you go now, Roger?
Doug's got a decision to make here because the stone they just threw is very usable. That can be tapped. That's a dangerous rock, but it's hard to hit because it would jam into your own stone possibly.
So looks like he's
Doug's going to throw a draw around the outside and try to sit 1 and 2. That will leave Todd the tap up on the stone they just threw. And Doug's calling for line early here.
Yeah, it looks heavy enough. It looks, in fact,
It's more weight than he was
yeah.
expecting. He needs to chip on something. Hope if they can just catch a piece of this rock.
And they do.
And that'll take a little steam off. And they're sitting 1 and 2.
Yeah, but Todd's in a great position here.
Well, that changed the angles a bit because now the tap up for Todd now jams directly on the blue stone.
Right.
They could throw up weight at that.
And remove the blue stone.
Or they hit what they can see and they're biding their time, maybe conceding 2.
That looks like what he's going to do.
But Broomstones is down 2 here. I'm not sure they can really afford to concede anything. I think they have to run this stone in, and that's what they're going to do. So they're going to try to run their own stone in that they just threw that's sitting on the top 12 and run that into shot rock.
Looks like good weight.
Just got to hit this on the outer half.
I think he needs to, yeah, I think he needs to call fast. Ooh, it's cutting fast.
This one's breaking hard, and this is just down weight.
Yeah.
It's going to jam on the guard. This may stick on the
oh, this is nice.
rock on the 12
This
foot, and
is
it
good.
does.
That helps a little bit.
So they caught a little break there. They ran a rock over the top, hit a little bit wide on their high guard. I mean, over curled and hit a high guard and drove that right onto second rock.
Well, I
Can't tell who shot at this point.
No. But
I think you're hitting the yellow no matter what.
yeah, I think you want a little hit and roll if you can, but you want to get rid of that yellow.
Get rid of the yellow, and looks like that'd be only sitting 2 maybe. So I think the rock on the top 12 might be now out counting the rock that's on the edge.
Yeah. That's what Doug's calling for.
Yep.
So I'll get
Yeah,
back.
there's no question that rock has to go.
I'm sorry. Can't see it now. There it is.
So this is 1. This is 2. I think that's 3.
That's what it looks like.
I think you take out second rock, see if you can get a roll here.
She pushed
threw a
it.
rocket.
She pushed it out too. I don't know I don't know if it's going to come back.
It's not a lot of weight. This is curling.
Not enough. Well,
Need to catch a piece. Yeah, just moved it. Boy, they almost should have swept that by.
right.
So I think they pushed yellow in for shot.
Dee released that. I'll try to get a lot of weight on it, and she pushed it.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of weight to make those kind of shots.
Yeah. I think when people throw to those outside rings, they tend to think they need more weight, and they give just a little push at the end that sends it flying out.
Well, the shot rock is still wide open. They have to do something with that. They have to either throw a second one in or throw a guard over it. Sitting almost on the 4 foot. Todd's first.
Isn't it a shorter rate? Yeah, it's as far as the rocks go. Yeah, they throw 1 rock and that's where the other house is.
Just cleaning now. Okay, now they're going hard. Going really hard.
Looks like they're just going to flip a guard here.
Right.
This is really light.
Dan's really digging there. They're going to get it over?
They get it over. They got to come up and get it. If they get it over, they need to come up because it is over curling. And that might be just good enough. I don't think they can get to shot rock now.
Can't really see from this angle.
Well, from the long view, I think you can see that this stone is this stone is covered shot rock quite well.
Big end over there. Just got four.
Well, they rounded into an outside and it wasn't attached. Beyond an agreement that it should be attached. First of all, if it's unattached, then it's a problem.
Just wonder if you run the guard they just threw, run that off and make them throw it again.
Yeah. I mean, you have to get to that shot rock.
You have to expose shot rock.
Yeah.
You got an end building up here. Utica's sitting second and third, or at least second.
Now he's talking about curling around. I think you just get rid of that guard.
I'm not sure you can even get at it with hack weight.
I mean, you may be able to get to it. I'm not sure you're going to be able to push it back far. I think you'll just stay to the outside and push it across the house, but maybe not even remove. Just definitely not remove it, and even.
I think you just run the guard here. Just peel the guard off.
Yeah.
Make him throw it again.
This is how 5 and under games get lost. Is people let those guards build up.
Yeah, Doug's got 2 rocks left. The angle raise. He's looking at the angle raise on this side. You have a blue rock, and if I can find my mouse, there we are. Got a blue rock on this side that they can angle raise in, but I don't think that rock is going away. I think that'll still be there with his last. If you run off this high guard, you're going to force Todd to throw it again. You'll still have this in if you need it.
Right.
Yeah, if they don't throw the guard as good as they just did, then you'll have a chance to score at least 2.
3.
It looks 3, right? Because that's right. Doug is sitting second and third.
That's not what he's going to do, though, Roger.
Looks like he's going to throw a come around and maybe try to tap this back a hair.
So he's playing for 1 with this shot.
Well, if you tap it back enough, and just question is, can you tap and can you get another one in? You have to throw the angle raise for a second one, I guess. One thing's for sure, if you miss this shot, I think you want to clip the guard and move it.
The thing you don't want to do is replace it. Oh, it's up, 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 up.
It's moving, but there just really wasn't enough curl there to make this shot. That's just going to push it closer in.
Yeah, that's just... That was the danger of that. I mean, he's going to try to guard this, but I don't really think there's enough curl on this side to get to the inside of that rock.
Well, there's an in off now. They can come off their
Right,
blue,
yeah.
so Utica can play this shot either for 1, or if they could throw it hard enough, you could probably get 3. But it's pretty flat.
It's a hard shot.
Tough shot. Need to throw some weight.
Taking a long look at that one.
I think they're just going to cover this side again, or maybe even draw a second one in.
But you could
That's a pretty well guarded rock. I mean, if you could draw a second one in,
say 1-2. You're
say 1-2, you could put a lot of pressure on
Doug.
on the Utica team.
Right.
The one thing you do not want to do here is move your own guard. That the only danger in throwing this shot is if you come out narrow
And yeah,
and you move the guard for them.
because then you give them a chance for 4.
But I would guess he's going to throw this pretty light.
Yeah. He hasn't missed very many today, I don't think.
His draw weight's been cold so far. He's made some nice draws so far in this game to keep his team in it.
Just cleaning, it looks like.
And this looks like it has plenty of room around the guard.
Yeah, it's not. It's going to be fine. There's
Made
room.
sure he got it way out there. Didn't really curl much there.
No. So he's going to try his.
All Doug's got the angle raised. That's what he's looking at.
Yep.
Have to play the angle raise.
Yep, that's just exactly where you. Now he just threw one last end to, or 2 ends ago, to take his 1. Same shot, a little farther out.
Yep, threw a nice one in the 4th to get his 1.
They're trying to chip the red one out just to get another point. Keep going, keep going. Discard.
All right, last rock for Doug Smith. Going for an angle raise to avert a steal of 1 here. Looks like good weight.
It's a great weight. I think I'd
They gotta
sweep
catch
this
this on the outside.
No.
Got to catch this on the outside.
No, waited too long. Oh, sorry, folks. You can't see this because the weight was fine. They just waited too long.
Maybe a little light. Steal of 1 for Broomstones. Tightens up the game, 4-3 after 6. Utica will retain the hammer for the 7th end.
Well, if you're Broomstones, that's what you want. You want to take the.
Well, they got the hammer in the even ends now.
Yeah.
But they are down 1. Score of 1 here for Utica would certainly put them in control. No time to panic. Don't need to score 2 this end. One might be enough. Go into the last end up 2. Well, I think just as we might have expected, this B semifinal game is very competitive. We have a 1-point game after 6, starting the 7th end.
Sweepers are working hard. Nice guard. And Doug's having Amy put this to the wings.
Pretty much the same pattern they've called the whole game.
Pretty basic.
Center guard, then throw one out to the side.
But Scotsman went to tell me this was an easy game.
It's an easy game if you make your shots.
Right, it's not a complicated game.
The theory is simple.
Right.
And that one's right in the side.
Right. Two
Side
good
of the house.
Leads have done their job, done exactly what was called for. All right, Meredith is going to come around now.
Try to get around the center guard they just threw. Get to the 4-foot first. This is really moving.
Wow. Did they get it? No, it's going to correct it.
They're just going to chip.
Oh, Meredith was not happy with that.
And that rolls for 2 corners. That helps Doug. He can now come around around the left corner.
Exactly what he's calling
and
for.
Try to sit 2 here.
Sorry, Boston fans. You did, yep. Looks like Team Rowe gave up 4 in the 6th. Looks a little heavy. See as it comes through how heavy it is. Oh, maybe not as heavy as I thought. Oh, heavy.
Yep, that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. You're going to have Dan draw.
I'm surprised they're going to that side. They're going to draw around the wide corner guard on the right-hand side of the sheet. One on the left-hand side of the sheet, you could get buried on almost the 4-foot.
Right. Stands for a shot. Looks like he has room. Well, it looks nice. Plenty of room around that guard. Let's see if he can bury now.
It's not really making a big move.
Got a piece of the 4. But it's right out
On
in the open.
T-Lone, but it's completely exposed.
Yeah.
They've thrown this line now several times. So they know the inside out hit here, and that looks about right.
Looks a little light, Roger.
Well,
That's actually been.
he's a little wide, so that may work out.
They're pounding hard.
And he's by, and he's going to get a
I think
nice
he'll
roll under.
Oh, no, not really.
Yeah, it didn't move as much as I thought there. I thought they got that rolled right under. Doug's now sitting 2, half covered behind that corner guard, that midway yellow guard.
Todd called for draw 2 that stone.
Yeah, draw 2, tap it back.
Dan's second shot. Looks like he's right on the stick. Weight might be a touch heavy. I think he's going to be it's going to work out well though. It's coming right over.
And it's going to catch the corner.
Going to be a nice shot.
Not shot rock, but that certainly cuts down the scoring area. And I think Doug's going to have to deal with that because they can run that in.
Yeah.
They really have to cover that. That's a dangerous rock. Doug's calling for around the other corner guard, but I really think they need to put a guard in front of that stone that was just thrown by Broomstones.
Well, he was looking at that, but
Decided to split the house and sit 1 and 2 here.
they got to make the shot then.
You have to make the shot. If you don't make this, then they're going to run the yellow end. Broomstones will run that yellow end and try to sit 2. Sweepers are really working this hard. They must think it's a little light.
Might work out as a guard anyway. He just got wide.
And they played a little chip. And I think they actually are still 2.
From this angle, it looks like they're 1 and 2 at the moment, but Todd's going to remove that shot rock. It's Meredith's first shot. Or Nancy's first shot, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not sure they can hide this too well.
Well, he's looking to hit it on the outside and just roll over towards their yellow.
And that'll move his yellow a little further over. That'll leave his yellow exposed.
Looks like it's all over on sheet 1.
On sheet 1, it looks like a final.
I'm thinking it's Utica
Utica 4.
Over Albany.
This one is over curling.
Well, he's going to get a piece of it. Is it going to be enough?
And it's going to move it off of being shot and roll out.
Well,
Utica still looks like they're sitting shot rock behind the yellow.
okay.
Doug's going to go around the corner again.
Looks a little heavy to me.
Sweepers aren't touching it.
Yeah, it looks pretty heavy. Takes a long time to get into this frame. Yeah. Well, now you gave Brimstones a chance to come in
Now,
and sit
now
too.
they need to run that yellow.
Yeah.
So they need to run this yellow end.
Yep. That's exactly what he's calling.
Pop that blue out the back.
Sit 2.
That'll get Todd's team out of trouble.
He's asking just for a T-line weight. He's looking at the angles. It's going to curl a lot this way. Nancy's second shot.
This
here
is
it
over curled.
overcurling. But this could get them 2 anyway.
He's going to run the guard in for shot rock, but that's going to be wide open. Just a nose hit on this. Defoe being asked to remove that shot rock that just got spilled into the rings from that guard. And this is flipped out.
Right. Yep. Except that's going to run into theirs.
I don't think they want to sweep this into their own stone.
Oh, that's what he's trying. Oh, here's what he's going to try. Oh,
got
my.
lucky.
Look at that.
The bad news, though, is
Bad
that
news,
he
they're over- yeah.
took out his own shot
Right,
rock, so
right,
they hit
right.
this, and Broomstones will sit 3.
Right.
House is wide open, though. Doesn't look good for scoring a deuce here, but they might be able to get their 1.
Broomstones is trying to figure out a way how to steal 1 with this.
Well, the force isn't terrible here. That would only put them down 2. That would require them to take 2 in the 8th and steal the extra.
That's taking a good long look at this. Give a shot of the house.
Sheet 2's tightened up. Broomstones 4 took 2 in the 7th, and that game is now 8-6.
Good game.
Utica has the hammer in the 8th, up 2. Tall order, but it's not over yet.
Sheet 6 all tied up after 5. Here comes Todd's first shot.
Looked like he wobbled a bit coming out of the hack.
Touch wide. I think he's going to get it, though. Well, that worked out for him.
And he's hitting 3. Pushed everything out to the edges.
So what do you do with Doug with your first shot?
I think you put a stone right in front of this rock in the back 8.
Yeah.
Maybe even above T9. Just to set up a jam.
Yep.
Doug's realistically looking at scoring 1 here, but a little mistake. Maybe you get 2. Yeah, so put a stone here, top 4. It would be difficult to remove. Yep, here we go. I like putting a stone right in there.
You got jams everywhere. And he's not doing that. He's trying to draw the up.
And when you got hammer, your opponent's rocks behind T-line are your friend.
That's right.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming around to the pocket.
Yeah.
As we say, probably not a great chance to score 2 here. Freeze doesn't really do any good because they can freeze to that.
Yep.
You need to leave this above T-line and then try to set up a possible jam. Only thing you don't want to be here is short.
Yeah, you don't want to guard their shot.
Somewhere in the house
Right.
would be. You would need to leave that 4 foot open for your last draw.
Yeah. Promise is on this is down to the back one. Tap it out.
Looks like Utica 2 has stolen another 2 on sheet 4 to go up 7-3 after 7.
They're pawning this one up a little bit. Up a little bit, people. I think they overswept this one.
Looks like it's going to freeze or tap on the back. Oh, it's going to freeze on the back one. Not bad. They sit shot rock. That's going to force Todd into a freeze. That rock is not removable. If you're Kevin Martin, you can blast these out.
Yeah,
but I
you can,
think,
yeah. You can blast them out and still sit 3.
Well, I think your shooter will roll out.
Let's take a look at that.
To get them both, you'll need to hit it on
Right
this
there,
side.
yeah, yep.
And I think your
Your
shooter's going to
go that way. Otherwise, you jams the rest.
Hit it on the nose. I'm not sure it goes all the way out unless you throw a ton of weight.
If you hit it on the nose, you can probably.
It's a
push
long
yeah.
roll across the house.
Right.
I think you need to hit it just a little bit on the high side. The high side being if you're coming outside in, the direction you're curling from. So you need to hit it about here. That rock goes this way. This rock goes this way. And I think this one's going to roll away. I'm not sure how far. Depends on how tight you hit this one. Realistically, I think he needs to throw a freeze.
That doesn't look like what they're
Looks
calling.
like take
They're
out
calling
weight. I think
yeah.
he's going for the hit to try to lose them all. If you catch it really thin, you might just pick it clean off the top, but then that leaves Doug the same shot for his last rock.
Thibodeau is up 2, coming home with the hammer, except that Broomstones has 2 in, and they're just pulling a 3rd one in. So they're sitting 3 right now.
All right, here's the rock. Broomstone's last stone. And that's going to roll off a shot rock. It's actually a chance for 2. I'm not sure. I think if they were playing the takeout there, that was pretty light.
Pretty light for a takeout.
I think they switched to a freeze. And, of course, with the ice, they really couldn't hold the line on that. So this is a hit and stick for 2. If you hit and roll out, you still get your 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a big deuce for Doug Smith in Utica. Again, that's what they pay us skips for the big bucks for, right?
Yes.
Make these shots.
We just wish that you wouldn't think about them so much. Oh, he tightened up the broom.
Right, pretty straightforward hit and stick for 2 here. Catch, shot, rock, and roll out. Still get your 1.
This is when the adrenaline gets going, though. You know, you see that little window. Okay, let's see how Doug does here. He's been pretty steady.
Just got to pretend like you're in practice. This looks
That's
pretty
right.
light.
Go, guys.
I'd put a broom on that.
A little wide. It's hanging out there. Here
Looks
it
like
comes.
he's got it made. This is coming in just fine. And that's for 2. Nicely done. So they manufactured a 2 from nowhere that end. Just a miss takeout freeze attempt. And all of a sudden, Doug has an open hit for 2.
So the question now is, as a 5 and under team, tend not to do this, but I would have them throw through.
Well, up 3, you can certainly throw through. You can't miss too many shots, though.
Right.
Because a couple misses would be enough for the other team to score 2.
Looks like it's overswept here on 2.
2 or 3, actually.
Yeah.
But you're up 3 here.
Yeah, right onto the button.
Yeah, definitely don't want to leave any guards
That's
here.
right.
Broomstones has a hammer in this last end. Down 3.
Doug just signaled no guards.
Yeah, Yeah, the second best place for this rock, if it's not sitting top 4, is actually in the racks in the back.
As you can hear, Doug, no guards. They should have been on that right away. They should have been on that right away.
Yeah, they're now thinking about whether or not they can hog it.
Well, they're not going to hog it. They're halfway in between. Oh,
No, it's going to stop. Nope. That's the worst spot.
that is absolutely the worst spot.
Got to be heavy there.
Well, Amy can take out her own shot.
That you can. All right, Todd's going to throw a corner guard here. He needs to generate some offense. Need to score 3 just to get the extra.
Because I had one skip tell me, you got to clean up your own mess.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
Now, even though that blue rock is in the free guard zone, you can take out your own rocks in the free guard zone, and that would be an excellent call to make here. And I think that's what I would do. Now, Doug figures he's in a mess already here, so he's just going to come around and try to get, they got 2 guards up. Try to get to the 4-foot first. This could make this end very interesting. And you don't want to leave this one short either.
No. Yep, I'd be sweeping. Sweep, yes, it's narrow. No.
And you don't want to raise the yellow one in.
I don't think it has enough on its
Doesn't
razor.
have enough juice. Can't be light here with a 3-point lead.
I hope he gave him a place to. Bloomstone's making it interesting on sheet 1. They're sitting 3 with lots of guards up. Sheet 4, it is Utica 2 is got 8, Albany has got 3, and they're walking the stones down now. So
That's a final.
that's a final, Utica 2. The Mitchell team defeated Albany.
And that's the other B semifinal.
That's the
game.
other B semifinal game. And Utica 2 had a person leave right in the middle of the game. I had an emergency.
Well, and this one comes up short as well. So I guess it's full game on now. We've got 4 guards in play. I think it's looking late to peel with so many guards in play. So now it's drawing in time.
Yeah.
That high guard's really the killer. I think
Right.
if the high guard was gone, you could certainly start peeling some rocks.
It seems that the yes. It seems like the ice is slowing down.
Well, as some other sheets come off the ice,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon for the ice to slow down,
And that's what they're doing, and the sweepers aren't
picking up on that.
right.
They did spin one on the rings here, but I think that's just going to give an entree for Todd to hit and roll. And
Yep.
he's not even going to use that now. He's going to save that for later.
Yeah, he wants to tuck another one in.
So there's a hit and roll available here, but you don't have to do it now. Todd needs 3. So he's just going to draw around. And we'll worry about that rock in the 12-foot later. That rock in the 12-foot should not score. Certainly, Todd wouldn't be scoring 3 if that rock scores. So, and this also looks a little light.
Yeah.
They're working this very hard. Still moving.
Oh, we're dragging that.
And that's going to wreck, though.
Oh, it's too bad.
So I think what we're seeing is a couple of sheets have finished up and come off the ice. And that invariably leads to either some frostiness or the ice certainly slows down when that happens.
Yeah.
Fewer bodies out there generating heat. And we've now seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rocks come up short of the house.
And the sweepers and the shooters haven't picked up on this yet. The skips are certainly shaking their heads.
Yeah, no one's made the adjustment so far. This one
And it
looks like
good.
it's got a little more weight,
weight.
and this one might be a little heavy.
Yes, Todd's going to sweep hard, get that one out.
Right, well, it's getting interesting here.
Over on sheet 2, Ken Thibodeau's got to take one of these out, or he's looking at a...
This the last rock?
Oh, he should be sweeping.
I think he's just throwing a draw.
I would sweep it.
You definitely want to get by the guard.
She waited too long.
Right. On our sheet, they're playing an angle raise. This one's going to be wide, but I think it's going to draw in for shot. The question is, will it be exposed? And it's hard to see from this angle. If we get the long camera view, we can take a look and see if we get the long camera view.
Is that the hammer?
That rock is exposed, the one that was just thrown.
But he's not, he's ignoring it. Behind the tee.
Dangerous. Might be more confident in his third throwing a draw here.
I think they should be sweeping it.
And this one's also a little tight on the broom.
Yeah, keep going.
Crowd behind the glass is yelling hard.
Yes, drag it.
And this one's going to get by the guard, and it's going to be a really nice shot. Drag that right to the top 4. And what's nice about the positioning of that stone is even if you try to take it out, there is a jam possibility on the yellow in the back. So they're calling for a hit. But they have to be very careful here if this doesn't jam. Looks like it's maybe half exposed.
I'll get the long angle view for you.
Yeah, it's about half exposed, maybe a third. Here comes the shot.
Looks nice.
Do they have enough weight to move this out?
Yes, they do.
And very nicely done.
Very nice.
So they're sitting 2. Broomstones is now sitting 2 after that shot. So they move shot rock to the back 4 or back 12. And Doug has got to remove a stone here. The one that's just thrown is the most accessible one. They're going to come inside out here. Get a little bonus here if you rolled underneath the guards.
Well, we got to take it out. That's
And this is very tight.
Yeah.
Very, very tight. Might get a spin here. And that's not going to roll for seconds. So Broomstones is 1 and 2, making this really interesting. Need 3 to tie in this end.
Well, you're sitting 2.
Yeah, the rock that they can't cover both of them.
Sweep.
We're down the last rock on sheet 2.
They took the game.
And it's a final on sheet 2, 9-8, Broomstones 4. stealing 3 in the last end. All right, Todd's coming around. In turn draw. Trying to sit 3 here. Working this very hard, but they're going to wreck on the blue guard.
But it might help them a little bit.
Still leaves Shot Rock wide open. So a rock has got to go away. Doug has got to remove a rock. This one's wide open. That's the one to go after.
He's going to come at it inside out.
Inside out, I don't think it's there. You'd have to go through
No,
a
you
yellow
have to
rock.
go, yeah.
Outside in. There's a possible jam, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. You'd have to hit that awfully thin. Down to skip rocks here.
All right, let's see what he does.
If they win, they play the finals tomorrow. If they lose, they're out.
Sorry, Emily.
Charlie, this game.
Main thing here is to remove this rock. Don't have to throw a perfect shot. Like an inside roll here.
She's calling him on it.
They're sweeping right away.
She's calling him on it.
Got to come up, I think. They're pulling it out. It's got the rock. No inside roll. I think they could have let that come up just a little bit, but wanted to be safe there. You got to make sure you remove the rock.
Well,
now Broomstones is only sitting 1 here with 2 rocks to go.
So
Both of these rocks have to score.
Todd's looking at a hit an inside roll.
Yeah, the inside roll would set him up to sit 2.
Or is he going to try the draw first and leave that for the...
The problem is that this rock is also exposed. His shot rock is exposed in the back, and if you don't take it out, you can also choose to throw a freeze on it.
Right.
You can't take away both sides of the sheet. If he doesn't move the stone that Doug just threw, then Doug could angle that one in to cut down the scoring area and outcount that rock in the back. So,
I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to try for the inside roll.
Yeah, I think he has to play this now. If he doesn't play it now, I don't think he's going to be able to see it later.
They'll leave 2 rocks exposed, and all we have to do is take one of them out and they'll have a chance.
So if he makes the hit and roll inside, Doug should take out the rock on the back 8. Not an easy task because there's a jam rock in the back.
Yep.
But even if you jam that, well, I guess if you jam that, your shooter rolls in the open.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an exciting finish.
It is.
This shot is made.
Yeah, if the shot is made where he's... Oh, looks right on the stick.
Might be a little outside. A lot of weight here.
A lot of weight. Is he going to come back?
Still hanging.
No, it's coming now. I can't tell. That's nice.
Going to get a little inside roll here.
Oh.
And I'm not sure he shot rock. Is he shot? They're going to take a look.
That's tough. It doesn't matter. This is shot rock in the back now.
Question is Todd sitting 1 and 2?
I'll give you that angle. It's kind of hard to tell. Looks.
We can't really tell from up here. I think blue might be shot.
Second shot.
Second shot, yes. If blue is second shot, they should certainly throw a draw to the back stone.
Right.
If blue is not second shot, I think they almost have to throw a tap on the back stone.
Watch your foot, D. That looks like, yeah, that's what he's going to do.
Essentially, they just want to come in here. If you just draw anywhere in this area, especially if they're already second shot, then that should be enough. I actually think this rock is gettable if you throw back ring weight. You get enough curl to scoot that out, but you certainly don't want to wreck on the top guards.
Nope, because you give Todd his. Doug has called a good game also. Skip's been thinking a lot this game.
Been a very entertaining game. Both skips have called, I thought, quite good game.
Hey, it's a 5 and under.
And this is a 5 and under. As I say, the quality of play has increased significantly since when we played.
So he's gonna. Well, his sweepers can't leave it short. That's for sure. These are the fun shots, though, aren't
If
they?
you stick a draw in here, I think no worries for blue.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
This one's got a curl.
A lot. Here it comes.
Coming in now.
Bring it in now. Now.
And he's locked it up on the back. That's a great skip rock. That's the winning shot. He might even be shot rock.
Doesn't matter. I think he's 2 and 3.
He's
Todd's looking at a way to.
He's at least second.
Yeah. Todd's looking at a way to split these two, and that's,
Now, unless Todd performs a miracle here, it looks like it's going to be an all Utica B final tomorrow.
Well, he's looking at it. This is an interesting shot. He's looking at
He's looking at an angle raise on his yellow. The angle is very sharp. He's got to get past his blue. So we're looking at doing this. You got to hit this with a lot of weight, very thin.
But that's going to go.
You have to miss that blue rock.
But your shooter, you're going to lose.
Your shooter's going to go away. Yeah, that's only for 2, so
yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't see how you get 3 from here.
If this one's second, if you can thinly, it's not going to work.
The trouble is that Doug just locked that right on. You'd have another possibility here if this rock wasn't locked on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, because that rock is locked on, this one goes away too.
But even if you hit that there, this back one could outcount it. Like, you can't tell from here.
Looks pretty dire.
Lone sweeper on the other end, waiting.
Got the whole team looking for some sort of angle here.
Yep.
That was just a great stone by Doug with his last rock.
There you go.
They're going to shake.
Yeah.
And that's a final.
That's the final. Great game.
Great played game by both sides.
Yeah. Fun to watch. Okay, we'll be back with the 8:30, 8:45 game. Ice Crew's going to turn this around pretty quickly, and we'll bring you the next game.
We'll be back with you the next draw.